I'm Heather. I'm back for a really quick video to discuss lightly Victober. So this is the first year that I'm going to do Victober. Last year I did something else. I think I did like Hocus Pocus readathon for Halloween October-ish, and I thought, oh, more than a couple readathons at a time is just not going to work. But I vowed to myself that following year I would do Victober, and I'm pretty excited about it because I do love Victorian books, but yeah, they don't get prioritized in my like general reading like I feel like they should do. Like I would sort of like look at a shelf and go, you know, there's a Victorian one, there's a modern one, blah blah blah. I would always pick the modern ones over the Victorian one, but whenever I do get around to reading the Victorian ones, I do love them. Like I love Wilkie Collins, I love the Brontes, like, you know, it's just all good, and I feel like I should get to more. So, Victober. Like, one of the things for Victober you're supposed to do is read a book while wearing something Victorian. And I was like, I definitely don't have anything Victorian anywhere. What am I going to do? But when I was going through my closet, just sort of like, oh, do I have anything Victorian? I found this. Okay. This is an Alice in Wonderland costume from years ago. Who's Victorian? Alice in Wonderland is Victorian. That's right. So I've nailed it. Basically, I've decided for my Victober sort of TBR to just do the prompts that were given. Like, I've watched loads of other people's TBRs for Victober, and I think they're going off script, you know, like doing a lot of just reading whichever Victober ones or whichever Victorian books that have been on their list that they want to read for a while. But me, I'm gonna stick with a bit more structure and just go with the prompts. So the first prompt is a Victorian book that equates to your modern genre. So I don't really have a genre. Like, basically, if a gazillion other people have read that book and liked it, I will read that book, and I don't really care what kind of book it is. So I tried to find something along those lines, you know, like a hyper popular type book, you know? And then I was thinking also, like recently I've been getting into like mysteries and stuff like that, like detective stories. Like I'm reading one at the minute and it's really good. So I've decided to finally get to, are you ready? This fucker, okay? I stole this from my dad about 10 years ago when I first emigrated. And he was sad to see it go, you know, and he was like, Heather, you better read it. And I was like, of course I'm going to read it, Dad. And then I haven't read it. So, what a perfect opportunity to read The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes and Other Stories. But basically, I'm just going to start with the first guy. Like, I think, is it Study in Scarlet or something? Yes. A Study in Scarlet is the first of these Sherlock Holmes things. And it's actually quite short, because that's the thing as well for Victober. Because Victorian novels are so sort of like intense, you like get really into them, they take a lot of like extra focus, I feel. Maybe other people don't feel like that, I feel like that. Takes a bit longer to read them, so I was trying to stick to ones that weren't too long. But here we go. Study in Scarlet, Sherlock Holmes, and it doesn't go too long. Wait, let me see. Study in Scarlet, Study in Scarlet, Study in Scarlet. Yes, it goes 78 pages. Boom. I don't know what it's about, other than that it obviously introduces us to our guy, which is what I need. I need an introduction to our guy. Next one is a Victorian diary or collection of letters. Can we talk about this a little bit? I cannot, for my life, find anything like this that I want to read. So I watched the sort of announcement video for this part of it. I'll link it below. And she was saying about why it is that she loves people to read this sort of thing and why she loves reading this sort of thing, like diaries and letters and stuff for Victorian people who aren't particularly famous, or like it shows like an extra side of them, you know, that isn't sort of rehearsed or whatever. And I am behind that, and I feel for that. But when I was sort of looking through the potential sort of Victorian letters and diaries or whatever that are available to me that I could read or listen to on Audible or sort of look for online, literally nothing came up that looked like I wanted to read. Like, loads of it just looked really hard sloggy, you know? Like, I don't want to read a gazillion pages about, like, you know, the life of a Victorian like bedchamber maid, you know, like is her life really going to be that exciting? No, that's why I read books, you know. If I wanted to just read some normal person's diary, I would just live my own life without needing to escape to literature. So I did find something that I thought of, which was Mark Twain's like travel diaries or travel letters or something like that. And while he's not officially Victorian, because he's American, obviously, he does travel extensively through Europe, including Britain. So I feel like that counts. But I can't find it in physical book form. I can only find it sort of in collections online. And also in LibriVox as an audiobook. Do you know LibriVox? Like the free audiobook thing, which is just read by normal people. And like I do love a free audiobook, me, and like a lot of times I don't mind that it's not actors that are reading it, but some of the quality coming off of LibriVox is shocking and I just cannot cope for my life with it. So I decided to just throw that out, and I may just throw this whole prompt completely out and not do it unless you guys, you know, throw something in that saves me. Like, what are you guys reading for this part of it if you're reading this part? Like, can you please give me some ideas that I can look at, because I'm a bit stumped. Anyway, okay, next one is a new to you Victorian book by your favorite author that's Victorian. So I think probably my favorite Victorian author is Wilkie Collins, as I just said. And I've read a shit ton of his stuff, but one I have not read is The Haunted Hotel. And other stories, which Victorians do like to do, don't they? But I have decided that like a theme for this year's Victober is going to be like sort of Halloween-y, you know, a bit spooky. Like the things that I read, I want it to be, you know, like a bit dark, a bit gothic. Like that's Victorian anyway, isn't it? Like it's easy to do. But loads of things coming off of Sean and Bert's channel, Past Story Time, have been horror related recently. And I'm normally like a bit of a wuss with that sort of stuff, so I always say just no straight away. But some of the stuff coming out of there is looking really good, so I feel like if I just try to wean myself into the horror genre slowly via, you know, Gothic Victorian literature, maybe I'll be able to like sort of build myself up to where I can start reading that stuff, because it does look really good. So anyway, The Haunted Hotel, not sure what it's about. A doctor is visited by a desperate woman with a question: am I evil or insane? Darkened bedroom, mouldering palazzo, English lord sickens and dies suddenly, room 14 of Venice's finest hotel. I'm just so in. Like, this, I'm going to be excited about that. Okay, so this one. Next one is a Victorian book you've been meaning to read for ages. And I have something that has been mouldering on my shelves for ages, is The Penguin Book of Ghost Stories from Elizabeth Gaskell to Ambrose Bierce. So I remember looking at it. I think I bought this back when I wanted to read like a specific story, like one that I'd heard was really good. I can't remember which one it was. Dickens. Oh yeah, it was number 1 branch line, The Signal Man by Charles Dickens. I wanted to read that one. And I couldn't really find it in book form, and I found this one really cheap, and it has that one in here, so I was like, oh, I'll read that, and then I didn't read that. But what a perfect opportunity to read it now. And it follows my theme of like creepy things, and it has just loads of authors in it that look really good. So it has Elizabeth Gaskell, Fitzjames O'Brien, Edward Bulwer-Lytton, Mary Elizabeth Braddon, Amelia B. Edwards, Charles Dickens, Sheridan Le Fanu, Harriet Beecher Stowe, Robert Louis Stevenson, Margaret Oliphant, Rudyard Kipling, Lafcadio Hearn. I looked this one up because I had no idea, and it's like Japanese related stories. How weird, right? W.W. Jacobs, Mary Wilkins Freeman, M.R. James, Ambrose Bierce, Henry James, Mary Austen, and Edith Wharton. So I'm pretty excited about that one. I quite like this sort of story thing as well. Like, I don't read a lot of short stories generally. I like a good just full novel me. But, you know, I like to dip in every once in a while. It'll be good. Next one is a Victorian book while wearing something Victorian. What? So I'm gonna wear this and read this guy. This is The Canterville Ghost by Oscar Wilde. I don't know anything about this story or if it will be good. Except that, look how cute this book is. Am I right? I love this little edition of this little tiny book. And when you finish it, you've read a whole book, even though it'll take 8 seconds. Like, you know, it helps to feel accomplished. Cute, right? Anyway, so this one is, there's no such thing, sir, as a ghost. And I guess the laws of nature are not going to be suspended for the British aristocracy. That's all they give me. That's the teaser. I'm excited. That's gonna be that one. Okay, so last and final one is the group book, or like the book that everyone reads, which is Shirley by Charlotte Bronte. And I do love a bit of Bronte, me, hence this guy. But I've only read Jane Eyre and Wuthering Heights out of it, and then did a bit of starting on Villette, and I don't know what happened with that. It's sort of, I think I went sort of halfway and then stopped. I don't remember why. Maybe it's still on a list somewhere of one I'm currently reading, but I've been currently reading it for like 8 years. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes I do that. Anyway, so Shirley is in here, and I reckon I'll get to it this time. You know, why not? I love a bit of Bronte, me. Didn't like Wuthering Heights as much, but Jane Eyre. Holy shit, I love Jane Eyre. Okay, so Shirley by Charlotte Bronte. Yeah. I should get going on Villette again. I don't remember disliking it. I don't know. I literally don't know why I abandoned that. I should do it this time. If I run out of these other ones, I'll read Villette as well. Also, another one that I've always wanted to read for ages, North and South. And that's supposed to be like a really lovely love story as well. If there's time, I'll get to that one. Okay, so there's my Victober TBR. I'm not sure if I'll do any vlogs for it, but I'll definitely do sort of updates. Like, I have to walk through the 3rd largest Victorian cemetery in Britain every day in order to drop my kid off at school and to pick her up again. So maybe I'll do a bit of, you know, cemetery reading, a bit of cemetery vlogging, maybe. You know, I love a good Victorian cemetery, me. But anyway, that's it. If you have any questions about what I've read, or if you want to tell me what you are going to read for Victober, or any Victorian books that you quite enjoy, or if you have any letters and diaries ideas for me, please let me know. Any comments, fully appreciated. I will see you soon. Bye!